In this session, you're going to go over how to add shadows to the people you have inputted to your site. First step is to make a copy of the layer in which the person that you want to create the shadow on. So for example, I want to make a copy of this lady, grab that and drag it down to the plus sign. You can now use the move tool to be able to drag her out. Because this will be a shadow, we will turn this into a completely black shadow. To do so, we go under the image, drop down menu, adjustment, and go to exposure. In the exposure, we will bring the exposure down to -20, all the way to the left side, and say OK. Notice how the shadow now is just standing upright. We don't want that. We want to rotate it to the ground. So the first step we're going to do is press Command T to transform. We will go to the corner and rotate her to the angle we want the shadow to be. In this case, we're going to determine the shadow on this side that is actually going kind of backwards a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate her in this way, like that. The next step is to now notice how it's kind of still not flat. We want to kind of change the perspective of that. To do so, I'm going to right click on this and say perspective. Now we should be able to grab the endpoint and be able to drag in different direction to determine where the shadow is going to be. In this case, I want the shadow to be here. Therefore, I can actually grab this and drag the shadow to match it up with where you want it to be. So you want it to look flat to the floor and the same angle you want it to be. Once you have that, you will press enter. Now it's very large. We want to size it down now. To do so, Command T again. I'll grab this corner and scale it proportionately. And now the shadow should be flat and it should rotate at the right angle as well, meaning it's pointing at the right angle. So you can now determine how far the shadow will be based on the direction it's going to be in. The last step is I'm going to change this name to shadow. And I can drag that down beneath the layer where the lady is at. Because what you want is the lady foot to be on top of the shadow and not vice versa. The last step you're going to go through is to change the opacity of your shadow so you can get kind of a faded look just like that. Once you're done with one person, go ahead and do the next person and complete all the shadow for all the people you have brought in.